Hello, welcome to a Facebook card class with CJ Card Creations. My name is Christy Hillock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am so grateful that you are watching this. I am actually having to pre-record this for you today because we have soccer starting, theoretically. It's currently snowing, so we'll see what happens. But soccer games, work travel, all sorts of things going on to where tonight was just not going to work. But I couldn't wait to share the project that I have for you. So let me tell you just a few things quickly. If you want all of the dimensions and the instructions for today's project, please make sure that you're subscribed to my email list. There is a link in the description of this video, and it will come out on Monday mornings. So typically I only email once a week. It gives you that tutorial that I mentioned, as well as any of my classes that are coming and any Stampin' Up! News. I also really appreciate your business. If you see any of the supplies that I used today and you would like to add them to your collection, I would be delighted to help you with that. Please just feel free to message me, text me, whatever means of communication works for you, and I will help you figure out what you need. Then I'm having several classes coming up. On May 6th at my house, I'm doing a new catalog party. So you'll come, you'll make 3 projects with new products, look at lots of samples, and have just a little bit of fun on a Saturday afternoon. And on May 7th, I will be doing a similar thing, but online. So for those of you who can't join me in person on the 6th, make sure that you are in that Facebook group and you can watch along and see what we're creating. And the online version I'm actually doing with my Creative Crafters trio. And then I'm doing an in-person card class on May 2nd, sorry, not 2nd, 22nd. That is at my home in Murray. And link for that is in the description. I have an In Color Club that is running May through August, and that is another program that I'm doing with my Creative Crafters trio. That is going to be a fantastic way for you to get all of the new In Color products, and you'll get to make 3 projects with us each month as part of the club. And if you want a more detailed explanation of that, please make sure that you hop over to the link and look at the information. It shows you exactly what product you'll receive when, and there are 2 different options for joining the club. Finally, so I mentioned the new In Colors are coming. They are really warm, earthy colors, and I think they're going to be gorgeous. And they have used those colors for the May Paper Pumpkin, which is our all-inclusive crafting subscription kit. So it is, let's see, it's called Exploring in Color. They're using mountain landscapes and all sorts of different outdoorsy themed imagery. It's got an exclusive stamp set, a copper clay ink spot. Copper clay is one of our new In Colors. And then it makes 9 cards. I think it's going to be a really good one. It includes stickers that you can use on your water bottles or your binders or anything like that. So that's always really fun. And then you can actually order, starting on May 2nd, an additional set of card bases and envelopes that will coordinate with that paper pumpkin kit. So there is all of that. And I will also be doing product shares, so designer series paper and ribbon. If that is something that you are interested in, watch for information coming on those. And I think that that is everything that I wanted to tell you. So I am going to switch the view here so that we can get to our project. So as you can see, I have the Forever Fern stamp set pulled. I designed this project and then the stamp set sold out. So I was a little bit frustrated. However, I think a lot of you have this because it's been around for a while and it's really popular. So I decided to go ahead and use it. The dies are still available, and the dies are actually really awesome even if you don't have the stamp set, because they have these big branches and little ones and all sorts of different kinds of foliage. So I think that it is something that you should consider adding to your collection. I just lost that train of thought. What was I trying to tell you about it? it's discounted. It's pretty significantly discounted. So go check that out in my online store. And I've got the ordering host code here. Everyone who places an order of $35 or more in my online store this month will actually receive a project kit to do the one sheet wonder that I have shown you before with the By the Bay Designer Series paper. So you'll make 3 cards, each very different layouts. They may look a little bit different depending on what sheet of Designer Series paper I am able to use for your kit, but you will definitely have 3 gorgeous cards to create. So, right, let's see what we've got. So this piece of Designer Series paper is the one that we're going to use for our background. It is from the Awash and Beauty Designer Series paper, which has a lot of really pretty floral images, and it coordinates with the True Beauty stamp set and Organic Beauty dies, I believe are the names. So this piece is cut to 4 by 6, and I am just going to trim it down to 5 1/4. So when you get my product shares, you get 6 by 12 sheets of all of the different papers. So one way that you can cut that is in this 4-inch section, and then use this for the card liner so that you carry that design through to the inside of your project. So we'll just start with that actually, and adhere this strip to our card liner. And I'm using Rich Raspberry for our card base today. It's a really, really pretty purple, and it is leaving, which makes me very sad. So figured we'd better get a couple more uses out of it before it disappears. I'm just going to take my paper snips here and trim that off so that it's even. And now we can put this on the inside of our card. So, as I mentioned, it was snowing today, and it's 40 degrees. 2 days ago, we had 80-degree weather that was actually really rather hot coming from, someone who has been immersed in winter for months and months. But the sunshine that we had been having was gorgeous, and all of the flowers are starting to come out and leaves are budding. So I am really, really hopeful that today's miserable cold snap doesn't destroy everything. Okay, so that card base is ready to go. I'm going to set that aside, and well, it's not quite ready. We can go ahead and stick this on too, actually. I'm just thinking I might not have pulled quite all the products that I thought I did, but we'll see where we are. So the next thing that I wanted to do was show some faux watercoloring. So Janie, you had mentioned that you would like to do some watercoloring, and this is a really fun and easy way to start. So this is a piece of our shimmer white cardstock. It is retiring, which is sad because it is great for watercoloring, but it's got a little bit of shimmer, obviously, from the name. See if I can get that shimmer to show. Not really so much, but it is there. And it is lighter and smoother than our watercolor paper, which makes it just a little bit easier to use for certain things. So, like I said, I'm sad that it's going, but you can certainly get that and use it for your watercoloring as you start to do more of that. And I just need to see, let's see, I think this is the last stamp that I want for the moment. So I got 3 different pieces of foliage. So I'm going to first start with the largest and use my Pear Pizzazz. Let's see, I'm already running out of space. I just love how that seems to happen no matter how much space I start with. All right, so we're just going to ink this up. These are distinctive stamps, and so there's a lot of texture already in them. That didn't stamp perfectly, but because we are watercoloring it, that's actually going to be just fine. So I can close up my pear pizzazz now and bring in my rich raspberry for this little set of leaves. And we'll just go right there. And then finally, we are going to bring in some mango melody. So all three of these colors are retiring. And I haven't checked today, but I know a lot of the color products, like the ink, the dyes, or not dyes, wow, the ink, the cardstock, the ink refills, those things do tend to run out rapidly. So I am not positive that we have them still, but certainly go over and check if you need any of that. So I am bringing in my water painter brush. It's got water in the barrel, so you just squeeze the barrel to get that water flowing and then kind of get the excess off of your brush. Also, you want to make sure that your brush does not have any residual color from the last time. So that's another reason to kind of clean it off on an old rag. Now, I don't want a ton of water for this process. I just want the ink to kind of fill in those leaves, but I don't want drippy, messy kind of stuff. And because this didn't stamp as well as it might have, I can pull ink from the base of that leaf up to the top part. So you'll notice I have not squeezed any more water into this brush. There's just a little bit coming through the barrel, but I don't need much at all for this. So just touch over all of the leaves, spread out that ink nicely. And it does take away some of the crispness of the image, which is kind of what you expect with a watercolor look. So just get all of these done. Picked up a little bit of something, so we'll clean that off. And one thing that I love about this, especially with the colors that I chose, is that they become so much more vibrant as you add that water. I'm just cleaning my brush and drying off some of the excess water, and now I'm going to start on my rich raspberry. So our water painters come in a set of 3. One is a very, very fine tip, and then there's this one, and then there is a really wide flat brush that is great for watercolor washes. So depending on what look you're trying to achieve, you want a different brush, and it just takes some getting used to the different brushes and the feel of them. All right, just about done with this. I don't have to stay in the lines if I don't want to. It really isn't a huge issue either way. I'm just cleaning that brush again, and we'll do our mango melody here. Now, I do not know what you would call this spray of balls. It kind of looks like cotton balls to me, but obviously that was not its intended design. So if anyone knows what these are, I would be delighted to find out. I just love that the shape is really different from the other leaves, so you get quite a different feel. All right, and so you see, watercoloring sounds like a big deal, but the faux watercoloring goes really fast, which is nice, and you still get a big impact. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and we are next going to learn how to use a punch to create a different shape than what the punch is originally. So this is our jar punch, and I've already punched a piece of vellum with it, but I don't have enough space on this card for that entire jar. So what I'm going to do is grab a piece of Post-it, and you can use these little bitty tabs or you can use a full sheet, whatever's easiest to get a hold of. I am going to put the sticky part on my vellum and then bring this in. Well, let's see here. All right, so you can use a longer piece so that you have slightly more of a handle, but this is just fine. And I am just pushing it all the way into the punch, and then I will shorten my little jar. So I felt like this was great because mason jars come in all different sizes, and it will look really cute to hold our foliage. So there are dies that coordinate with all of the pieces that we did just watercolor. So I have cut them out for us. I stamped and watercolored ahead of time so that you didn't have to wait for everything to dry. But as you're doing your own, definitely let it dry completely or it won't die cut very nicely. So we just want to get a sense of how this is all going to sit on here. And set this like that. So I don't want any of the leaves going below the jar because then it looks like they're sitting in the water. So I just want to make sure that they are truly up on top. I don't love the way the stems look shining through the vellum like that, but we're going to add some ribbon that will cover that up as well. So first I'm just going to adhere my decorative circle punch. That is not going away, thankfully, which I really am very grateful for because I love that circle. The jar punch is retiring. So we'll just put this balmy blue bit there. And then I'm going to start with the largest piece. Get some glue on there. And go just like that. And now my mango melody. Same kind of thing. It curls just a little bit when you add all that water. So you just, you can work to flatten it out or get it completely adhered. I actually kind of like that it's coming off the card a little bit because it does give more dimension to the floral arrangement. So get this one on here like so. And now I am just going to use a little bit of my seal. You could also do glue dots. Liquid glue works, but if you're going to use liquid glue, you would want to use a sponge and apply it across the entire surface. That way you don't have a really obvious glue spot. All right, so again, I want these to be, I want the leaves to all be above the top of my jar. So there is that. And now I can take this 1/2 inch strip of basic white and I'm going to bring in the stamp that says hello. So for this, any sentiment would work. And then for my rubber stamps, I can't see through them to line them up. So what I like to do is use my grid paper. I get my block nice and square, and then I put my stamp looking down through so that I can see that it is on the line. So generally speaking, that does allow my stamps to come out straight. And now I'm just going to put this below the card because I want the stamp to sit right on top of my jar. So there is that. And we will adhere this like so, and it will also help secure that vellum. I think we'll just do some liquid glue. So looks like that is where we want it. I'll come back and trim that once that glue is really set. This is the Old Olive and Sahara Sand Twill Ribbon combo. And I felt like the Old Olive looked nice with that pear pizzazz. So I'm just going to tie a nice little bow, like something you might find around the neck of a mason jar. And tweak my loops until I'm happy with them. And then we can trim that down. And I like to use glue dots to adhere my ribbon. So just bring my roll in here. Well, pick up that glue dot. There we go. And that will cover up those stems a little bit. So now we can trim this down to how we want and come back, trim this off over here. And we are done. We just need some pearls and you've got a beautiful card that looks much fancier than it really is that you can send to anyone. I do like to keep my sentiments really simple because then I just have cards ready to go all the time. So I wanted to do a collection of 5 pearls here. And the basic pearls are retiring too. So here they are in their simple glory. Make sure that you have a nice supply of these. We are keeping the iridescent pearls, which are lovely. So I wasn't totally distraught, but I was really kind of surprised. All right, and then we'll grab one more and go just right there. So there is our faux watercoloring project for this week. So I hope that you loved this. If you have any questions about the project, or if you want the tutorial, make sure that you are on my email list and know how to reach me anytime, email or text, and I will be happy to help you. I really appreciate you joining me. I'm sorry I couldn't be here live today, but I should be back next week. Well, I say that, fingers crossed. This soccer, baseball, piano schedule is throwing us for a little bit of a loop. Emily hasn't been in activities before this year. So if you are interested in any of the classes that I talked about or the product shares or anything like that, keep an eye on that email and make sure that you jump in and register when the information comes across. I hope that you have a wonderful day and I will talk to you soon. Happy stamping. Bye.